Hey team, welcome back to the podcast. It's 2024 and wanted to kick off this year as strong as possible and give you some great content, something feasible to go away with to improve your brain and gut health and your general well-being. As I've said many times before, I'm a big believer if we can start addressing the deep underlying problems that we are facing with our gut health, with brain, cognitive function, a hell of a lot of the other stuff in terms of your health, your fitness, and your well-being starts to fall into place. We start to delay the onset of long-term health issues like Alzheimer's, dementia, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, a whole host of other things. And then obviously, we start to address these two main areas. We also then start to see body compositional changes, lower body fat percentage, particularly in lowering that visceral body fat that we may be carrying, that is really unhealthy and really negative to our health. And also, we are able to put ourselves into a great position with our focus, our concentration, our sleep, our energy levels, our ability to train and exercise, and actually turn up and be the person we want to be. So I really do feel that if we can challenge and tackle and address some of these big issues that are happening with our brain and gut, then we've got a good chance of leading a really empowering, healthy, and long life with good life quality. So with all that being said, what I've done is I've already released my 30-point brain and gut guide. And it is basically that. It's 30 manageable you can implement 30 different points to have a positive effect on your brain and your gut health. Do I expect you to be able to implement all 30 in one go? I certainly do not. And as you'll see, I've set it up in a way that allows you to start to pick certain ones and implement. So there are 30 different things in this list that is going to have a positive effect on your life. So with that being said, I've set it up with three main pillars. The first pillar is the nutritional pillar, and the bulk of a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is in that particular pillar. All right, so we're going to talk all things nutrition in that first pillar. The second one is body and environment. So we're going to start looking at the physical aspects that we can do with body, but also the environment that we're living in, what we can do with that, and what we need to bring in and what we may need to get rid of. And then the third pillar is mindset, the supportive habits and structures and tasks and things that we can do in day-to-day that is going to support our mindset. And this is one of the biggest, well, not the biggest, but one of the most important areas. If we can start addressing mindset and really start working on your mindset and give you the tools, the other stuff can really be made easier. Okay. You're able to implement things easier nutritionally, body and environment wise. You're able to implement that. So those are the three pillars, okay, that we're going to go through. As I said, the first pillar, the nutritional pillar, is probably the biggest out of the lot. All right. And what I'm going to suggest to you is look at 2 or 3 points within each of these pillars, and then look at implementing that into your life and your day-to-day week and everything else. And then once you find your feet with those things and you think they've become a part of your daily routine, your weekly routine, and they become kind of like subconscious, they just happen, you're in the groove with them, you don't really have to think too much about them. Then you can start to look at it, bringing in another one of the points from each of the pillars, okay? And over time, you work on implementing. And this is one of the things that we work with our clients, is being able to bring things in gradually. It's really, really important. And we don't get overwhelmed. We don't rise stress or anxiety, and impact sleep. We've got to do things slowly. We've got to do things in the right way. So do it slowly. So let's get into it. Pillar number 1, nutrition. Very, very obvious one for number 1, but it is cutting out processed foods. As more and more the literature comes out, we are seeing so much more information, an understanding around the negative effects of processed foods. And I'm talking any kind of food that has gone through a process to what we now know as processed and ultra processed foods. 75% of most supermarket shelves are full of around 75% of processed and ultra processed foods. 75%. So any food that's gone through a process to come out more flavorsome, more palatable, it's been added to, i.e., sugars, flavorings. It's been gone through high heat processes. They've used poor quality oils to process it. It's come out of a factory and it's able to stay on shelves for a prolonged amount of time. That's processed foods. And as I said, it's coming out and we're seeing more and more evidence that processed foods and things like baked foods, sweets, treats, snack foods, fast foods, all that kind of stuff is having a detrimental effect on our health and long-term health. Not to mention just the gut quality, but also we're seeing that they are a main contributor to Alzheimer's and dementia. All right, so we really need to start addressing that. That's one of the reasons why I started off with this. It may sound simple, but it is very, very, very important that we start to address this and start cutting this down. So if you're somebody that eats processed foods, snacks every day, which can be quite easy for a lot of people when you're busy, you're on the go, crisps and things, start bringing that down. Start doing it every other day and start bringing it down. If you're someone that has a takeaway 2 or 3 times a week, start bringing that down to 1 a week and really bring it down as much as you possibly can. We're not saying that you have to completely eradicate it, but it's really important if you could try and at least bring it down to 20% of your overall food intake across the week. That's a good marker to get to. So you feel like you're on a diet. You don't feel like you're heavily restricted. Your 80% of your food intake is from naturally sourced foods. 20% is from those processed foods. And even if you're going to processed foods, try and make the best possible choice with that. We're always looking to try and take food back to its most natural form as much as possible. But processed foods is a big one and a main one. And that's why I started on it, really. Next one, very simple, but very, very important. Massive, massive implications to gut and brain health is hydration. All right. So most people are dehydrated. Let's look at bringing that up at least around the 2 liters of water per day. It's around 8 cups of water. And even knowing that you can get this from certain fruits as well, foods, watermelon, strawberries, grapefruit, peaches have water in them. So if you want to have some of those to up your water, do that. If it's bottled water, that's better than nothing. If it's tap water, it's better than nothing. But if you can start to go more getting your water filtered, that will be even better as well. Because even if through bottles, and I've got a bottle here, you're going to get certain, it's not always the purest, it's not always the cleanest. It is clean and it is safe, but you're going to have plastics in there, possibly, and other contaminants. So it's really important if you can get filtered water, that is ace, and start bringing that up to at least 2 liters. Number 3, increase greens daily. All right. So increasing your greens intake is one of the most simplest and easiest ways to start bringing up your gut health and then having a positive effect on your brain health. All right. So really start working on and making sure you get at least 1 cup to 2 cups of dark leafy greens every single day. Can you get them in every single meal that you eat? Dark leafy greens such as broccoli, spinach, kale, anything green is going to be really, really supportive. Not to say other colors aren't, such as your peppers and things like that. But if we can get an increase in greens daily, it's going to be a game changer for you, particularly if you're someone who struggles with inflammation, bloating, discomfort, anything like that. It's going to make a great impact on your gut microbiome. Number 4, probiotics and prebiotic foods and the benefits. So we're looking to get as much healthy bacteria, live bacteria into the gut. We want them to thrive. And the way that we can do that, and there's some other points that touch on this as well, is getting live bacteria into the gut through probiotics and prebiotics, such as, with the probiotics, yogurt, natural yogurt, no flavorings, no low fat stuff, just pure natural organic yogurt. Kefir as well, kombucha, sauerkraut. These are all great probiotics that can really, really support your building and getting those diverse amount of bacteria into your gut. As well as that, prebiotics, and this is the stuff that you're looking at that's going to really reduce your bloating and your inflammation. This is going to be, and also to support your insulin sensitivity as well. So you're not going to have these massive spikes of energy and low. It's really going to support this as well. And a robust immune system. So foods that include garlic, onions, bananas, broccoli, asparagus, chickpeas, berries, oats, almonds, and many, many more. Okay, so it's important that you get your pre and your probiotics in your nutrition daily if we can. So natural fats and the benefits. So natural fats in general, a bit of a scapegoat for a lot of the time. For many years, you can't eat fats because you get fat. When we're talking about fats, we're talking about, again, those naturally sourced fats, particularly those omega-3s, which you're going to find in fish such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies. Okay, and also those vitamin B12s are going to be so beneficial for your gut and your brain. Particularly your brain thrive off these diverse B vitamins. So omega-3s, your B vitamins, you can get them through if you're vegetarian, should I say, you can get them through algae. So what the fish actually feed on. You can get supplementation, just algae supplements to get those omegas in, and seaweed and things like that. So, get them in from marine life, fish oils and things like that, but also supportive fats such as flax seeds, almonds, hemp seeds, kidney beans. All these are really supportive with memory and retaining memory and lowering the onset or slowing down the onset of dementia as well. So natural fats, hugely beneficial for brain, gut, and long-term well-being. So the importance of protein is the next one. So we want to retain as much muscle as we possibly can, particularly as we get older. If we can do that, we can stay mobile, we can stay robust. Our bodies want to be in that position. Our bodies are designed to be moving on a day-to-day basis, no matter what age you are. And as we get older, we've heard it a lot. When people get older, they can fall. Once they have a fall, an accident, they go into hospital, and then other things start to happen with their health. And because they're in such a frail position, unfortunately, then their health then deteriorates more so. So making sure that you are getting adequate protein intake, getting protein within each meal is going to be a great place to start. But we're aiming for at least a gram for every pound of body weight. Okay. Now that might seem a lot for a lot of people, but what I would do is, if you wanted just to track, and you could do this on any kind of mobile app, calorie tracking, see where you're currently at protein wise, and then just start to nudge that up every week by 5 or 10 grams. But just making sure that you are getting protein within each meal. And protein is very satiating, so you're going to feel fuller for longer when you get protein in as well. And it doesn't have to always be through animal meat. It can be through beans, legumes, those kind of things. It can be through, like, let's say, pea protein, that kind of thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to always be through animal meat. And I would suggest that as well, allowing your gut to recover from, animally sourced meats is going to be hugely beneficial for you as well. Okay, the next one, eat the rainbow. So we should be looking to increase your variety and have a diverse amount of different fruits and vegetables on your plate at any one time. A nice one I like to set is 4 to 5 colors on your plate at any one time. And that's easily done when you start to input fruits and vegetables like peppers, like your greens, those kind of things, yellows from carrots and that kind of thing, but also then using berries as well can really increase the color. But looking towards getting 4 to 5 different colors onto your plate is going to be massively beneficial for you. So carbohydrates, another one that has had bad rep over the past years, but carbohydrates are highly beneficial, supportive, and we need them for gut health, for brain function as well. Now, when it comes to looking for different sources of carbohydrates, it's the ones that work really best for you. But we're majority looking at anything that's really kind of came out of the ground. Naturally rolled oats are really great. Potatoes, particularly sweet potatoes, great way to get more color in as well. Sweet potatoes are fantastic for your gut health, brain health. Rice, and other vegetables as well, fruit, bananas, that kind of thing. I would always look to consume them more around your training window, pre and post, because we know we're going to bring them in. We're going to use them for that energy and help with the breaking down of those carbohydrates as well. But carbohydrates, fiber-rich fruits and veg are really, really beneficial. Make sure you're going as simple as you possibly can, or complex. They are complex carbohydrates. But what I mean by simple is they came out of the ground, they aren't processed as well. Okay. Vitamins and minerals that support brain health. So, particular ones that we're looking straight off the bat is a wide range of B vitamins, such as your B12, your B6, and your B9, all highly supportive for brain health. They're going to, as I said before, lower the onset of any kind of dementia or Alzheimer's. And also retaining memory is going to be fantastic as well. You can get these from, as I've said before, fish, garlic, spinach, cabbage, beef, and tuna. And I'm probably going to say this herb wrong, but it's a Chinese, it's used in Chinese medicine, but it's ginkgo. Ginkgo, I probably said that wrong, but that is a fantastic kind of herb that is used in, as I said, Chinese medicine. Is great to get some healthy and supportive vitamins and minerals into for your brain health, but mainly a wide variety of B vitamins. Your B12, 6, and 9 is going to be highly beneficial. And also remember that vitamins E and A have antioxidants functions, and they protect your brain cells as well. So vitamin E and A is going to be fantastic, and you can get these from egg yolks, fish, cod, and chicken as well. All right. So those are the main ones really for brain health. When we're looking at vitamins and minerals for the gut health, all right, again, there's no harm having a complex B12 in there, but also vitamins such as C, D, and A, magnesium, iron, and zinc, all highly supportive. You can get these mostly from having a good, diverse, naturally sourced nutrition. But as you know, we've got holes in our nutrition currently with processed foods. We could be lacking in these. But these are the main ones, you know, B12, vitamins such as C, D, and A, magnesium, iron, and zinc are really, really supportive. Anything else I was going to say on that? Green veg is going to be helpful for you. And get a lot of that in from green veg. Fruits such as bananas, berries, apples, peaches, grapefruit, pomegranate, nuts and seeds, including cashews, almonds, pistachios, flax seeds, and chia seeds. Hugely beneficial for your gut health. So getting all those things in for your vitamins and minerals that are going to help your gut health. So the power of fermented foods. So fermented foods such as kombucha, kimchi, kefir, fermented soybean, tofu, yogurt. When I say tofu, it is fermented soybean tofu, how the Chinese basically create it. It's not highly processed tofu that we can get a lot of over here, but you can get it. Apple cider vinegar. These foods will support the gut and intestinal microbiome to thrive. So what we're looking for is not just a lot of healthy bacteria, but a diverse amount. All right. So these kind of foods, particularly fermented foods that have live bacteria in, such as, your kefir, your natural yogurts are going to have a lot in. So it's really important that, even if you can get them in every day, fermented foods are very, very beneficial. You're pretty much, if you're suffering at the moment with bloating, discomfort, start consuming fermented foods. You'll feel a big relief pretty soon. Okay. So fermented foods is a really important one. Consider herbal teas. All right. Considering herbal teas naturally is just going to can help you bring down your caffeine intake. All right. But things like peppermint and ginger, they're great for digestion. Green tea and peppermint tea contain compounds that help stimulate neurotransmitters to improve memory recall. These teas can also help boost energy and alertness without the negative energy dips that you may get with caffeine when they wear off, and then you need another coffee. So consider herbal teas. They're great for digestion, can be great for digestion, but also supporting neurotransmitters for brain and memory recall. Next one, simple one, chew your food. We're always in a rush, and digestion starts in the mouth. So start to chew your food slowly. Enjoy the food. I know that can be easier said than done a lot of the time. If we're working, we're busy, we need to get things done, but chew your food, give your gut a good chance of digesting that food once it hits it. And also it's a great one for mindset and supporting your environment, really. Chewing your food, slowing down, giving yourself that moment and that time just to enjoy your food, be present. But chewing your food is really going to support your gut once it gets there to really breaking down that food. So introduce polyphenol rich foods such as berries, dark chocolate, oats, garlic, spinach, green tea, and other plant-based foods. So the benefits here is the lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, inflammation, and cognitive decline. So polyphenol rich foods, superb. I eat berries probably every day. Dark chocolate, I'd always go I can love dark chocolate. So anything from 75% plus cacao, superb. Even if you went to 60, 65, that's fine. But it's going to be great for blood flow as well. As I said, heart disease, diabetes, it's really, really great. And if you can consume that, 2 or 3 times throughout the week, it's a nice snack, evening snack, possibly. And if you like chocolate, it takes the edge off that craving as well. So introduce polyphenol rich foods is going to be really supportive. So experiment to support diversity. I think we are creatures of habit. So we can eat the same foods all of the time and get very rigid with the kinds of foods that are coming in. That's no good for our gut, our bodies, our brains. So get out of that and start looking to expand on your variety of protein sources. So if you're just eating meat for your main protein sources, look at getting protein sources in from other places like your legumes, your beans, kidney beans, all those kind of things are going to be really great and easy to improve that variety of protein, natural fats, your fiber into your diet, and just trying to bring that color up and that diversity is going to really help with the diverse microbiome in your gut. If you feed the stomach, you're going to support and help the brain and the heart. And let's not forget the heart as well. Don't forget your herbs and your spices as well to increase diversity. Quick, easy, and simple way to do that. Next one, awareness. This one really is monitor your food sensitivity. So looking to just be aware of how food makes you feel is, I think, a very, very supportive thing to be able to do. So how does food make you feel? Do you feel drowsy after specific foods? Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you get gas? Do you get heartburn? How do you feel after particular foods? And if you can start to see that you react differently to specific foods, then you can start bringing them out for a certain amount of time. That might be for a couple of months, and then start to gradually bring them back in. But anything that gives you with low energy, leaves you with low energy, constipation, gas, discomfort, bloating, headaches, anything like that, start bringing out and becoming more aware of how you feel when you start to eat foods. And you can even just journal and just write these things down is an easy way to do that as well. Big one is the next one: limit your sugar intake. So consumption of sugar is on the incline. Incline, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, it's right, isn't it? So it's on the up, should I say? And there is no real benefit for sugar intake in our diets. Okay. It's going to have a negative effect on a whole host of different things, not just mention, memory, decline, vascular dementia, gut. It's going to really damage the healthy gut microbiome that we're trying to bring up in the gut. And also, obviously, with weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, all these kind of refined sugars you can have in tea, and we're finding in foods and baked goods and all that kind of stuff. Fizzy drinks, all that kind of stuff, sweeteners. Really want to start looking to bring that down as much as we possibly can. We're going to get our natural sugars from naturally sourced foods, such as fiber and, that kind of stuff as well. So really, really important to start limiting your sugar intake. Next one, control portion and meal size. This is a big one. So don't know if you know, but there's specific areas across the world called blue zones. Within these blue zones, we've got centenarians, and they have a whole host, not just nutrition, but a whole host of lifestyle aspects that support them to live beyond 100 and a good quality of life as well. And one of these aspects is they are really good at controlling their portion sizes. The Western world, we're kind of like lost that, where we can eat until we're full. These guys in these blue zones kind of eat to, 70%, and they never eat until they're like full. So controlling your portion sizes, so you can quite easily do this looking at your plate. Easy, simple way to do this. Been around for a long time now. Protein, the palm of your hand. Guys, males, you might want to go double that up. You can do that. And then when we're looking at carbohydrates, a fist size or double fist size for males. And then if you're looking at your fats, your thumb size, so it's a nice lug of oil or something over a salad, or if you're cooking with it. And then also with your veg, particularly if it's green, fill the rest of the plate. Okay. Obviously, if you're using carrots and things like that, then just be aware that you don't want to overconsume too many of those as well. So not eating to complete fullness is going to be a big one for you. And then benefits of herbs and spices, and this is the last one, and the nutritional pillar. Again, it's a great, easy way to create diversity. You're going to get an easy way to get more flavor into meals. We never want to be eating bland, boring meals. We can get a whole host of more different variety of plant-based ingredients into our nutrition. So just really start increasing how many different herbs and spices you've got in your herb and spice rack at home. Easy way to get more flavor, easy way to get more plant-based ingredients into your nutrition and increase that diversity. So keep always think about bringing in more herbs and spices to your cooking. So that was pillar number one. That was the nutritional pillar. We're going to go into the body and environment pillar now. All right. So not as many in this one, but still some great ones to take away and easy to implement. So first one, daily movement. Again, sounds simple, doesn't it? But as humans, we are designed to move. We are designed to not sit still for too long a time. So making sure that every single day we're putting time aside where we're going outside, preferably, and we are moving. All right. And we're not saying we're doing exercise. Yes, our heart rate may be increasing, but we're not doing a specific exercise where we're getting out of breath, but we're just moving our body. We're getting outside. Getting outside is going to be another massive one for us as well, for brain and body. But daily movement is going to be superb for you, even if it's walking the dog, even if it's managing stress, supporting sleep, all these kind of things. So we've got to make sure that every single day that we're putting aside a time to go and have a walk, move our bodies, clean around the house, do something every single day. As I said, get outside if you possibly can. It's going to have a huge effect on lowering stress and anxiety and supporting your energy levels across the day, and gaining more focus. How often have we sat at our desks, gone blank, really, can't find the thought to move on and to progress, and we just go and grab a coffee, and wonder why we can't get our work done. Getting up, moving around, if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, going to be massively supportive. So when we're looking at training programs for cognitive function and long-term health and well-being, we're looking at implementing something that is sustainable. Now, that differs from person to person, but supporting something that is sustainable, but also is progressive. And one of the best ways that we can do that, and this is one of my main training ways to train, is resistance-based training, because we're going to support retaining muscle or gaining muscle. It's progressive in many different ways. We can add weight, we can change movements, we can slow the tempo down, we can increase the reps, we can change up the different kinds of movements, at the frequency of them, a whole host of things. So if we can, looking to go into later life again as well with sustained mobility and strength, resistance-based training is going to be a great one for cognitive function, but all round general health and well-being. If you're not a great fan of weights, then things like you can do with other people that is progressive. You're having to think and learn new strategies and skills. Things like dance is great, and martial art is superb as well. Okay, so those kind of things are going to be really great for your brain and your body as well. Now, sleep importance. I can't speak highly enough of how important it is to work on your sleep if you have poor sleep. Sleep cycle really dictates our health, basically, and we're learning more and more about this as we go through a lot of trials. Now, what we were looking to do is make sure we're not just getting 8 hours of sleep, we're looking at getting quality sleep. And the best way that we can do that is sticking to a sleep regime. So we're going to bed at the same time, we're waking up at the same time, is going to be really, really supportive. But also increasing that sleep quality is going to come from what you're doing pre-bed. So 45 minutes, an hour out, you're coming away from screens, blue light, you're bringing down the lights in the house, you're making it darker, you're preparing your body for sleep. You're getting your eyes and your body and your brain to realize that it is nighttime when we need to start going to sleep. So sleep is really, really important. So look at your pre-bed routine. If you're on phones and things like that, get away from them, start picking a book up, start reading, journaling, but keeping sleep time exactly the same. Getting anything from 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep is going to be hugely beneficial. Really, it's going to dictate everything else I've spoke about up to this point. Okay, so sleep is that important. So management of caffeine for energy and sleep. So caffeine, for many of us, is a way of getting energy and focus, but it can easily get out of hand. So we need to manage it. So first thing I would say is not to be consuming any caffeine 90 minutes from awakening. Put that off. So this ensures that your adenosine receptors are able to work efficiently. And adenosine receptors kind of like manage your energy. So your energy should be ebbing and flowing across the day. And when we consume caffeine, it blunts them. All right. And that's why we get these, caffeine comes in, we get these, from the caffeine, we get the big energy lift, and then we get a big dip. So putting it off 90 minutes from awakening is going to be great. Give your adenosine receptors to start getting into the groove of things, becoming awake. Your body's awake and starting into that natural ebb and flow of energy. All right. I wouldn't consume any caffeine post 1, 2 o'clock, depending on the individual, because it will have an effect on your sleep as well. All right. Daily intake of caffeine, we're looking at anything between 100 milliliters to 300. So find your average. It's quite shocking, but some coffees, particularly on the big chain coffee houses, won't mention any names, but people could be consuming up to 500 milliliters of caffeine in one coffee. I would always go for an espresso, even an Americano, because they're just not as big. You're not getting as much there, and just managing that. But anything between 100 to 300 is going to be really beneficial for you. It can stay into your system up to 12 hours. So it's going to benefit, it's going to affect your sleep. So not drinking 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Some people, it might be even earlier than that. All right. And the next one is limiting antibiotics. So medicine is an amazing thing. We are in a time and living in a time where we've got medicine and that does absolutely amazing things, and it saves lives. But what we got to understand, we can't take it for granted. And we also need to understand things like antibiotics are going to have a detrimental effect on your gut, and really can strip away all that good, healthy microbiome in your gut. So really trying to not to take things when we don't really have to. If we've got headaches, aches and pains, I know it can be difficult, but the best way that we can treat those ailments is through the nutritional points that I've already given. One for headaches is going to be an avocado. Half an avocado is going to be, in my eyes, just as powerful, if not more so, as taking, what was I going to say, paracetamol, anything like that. And it's going to have none of the adverse effects as well on your gut. So yeah, half an avocado, try it out. So implementing some of these key points with nutrition is going to be really helpful and beneficial for you. Instead of just taking antibiotics all the time and medicines to try and get rid of headaches and aches and pains. Okay. When considering supplementation and which ones to consider. So I never really considered talking about supplementation until all the other points have been put in place and we've addressed nutrition, we've addressed daily routine, exercise, movement, sleep, and everything else. And then kind of supplementation can put cherry on the top and really help make things a little bit easier, but do the other things first. So things like L-glutamine, collagen, probiotics that you can get as well are really helpful. Ensure when you're looking at a probiotic, ensure that there are multiple different probiotics per serving. So as many different healthy live bacteria. We don't want just one kind of bacteria in the probiotics that we're taking. We're looking for a diverse amount of different ones. So that's something to look out for if you're looking at picking up a probiotic. Also consider implementing a supplement. When everything else has been met. Also, if we're looking at taking particular vitamin supplements, understanding that when we take vitamins out of its natural source and put them on their own, they're never going to have the same effect than if they come in their natural form, like, within the food that they came from. So just bearing that in mind, there's nothing wrong in knowing that you really find a particular vitamin that you're struggling to get in through food to do that. But when we do take it out of its natural form, then we're not going to get its main benefits. So alcohol consumption and its adverse effects on the brain and gut. So a very sociable habit for most. But when it comes to your brain and gut health, it is hugely negative for us. It takes the gut up to around 3 weeks or so to recover from alcohol consumption, and the brain just as much and even more so. And it has such a negative effect on it can how sorry it can have a negative effect on your brain size. It can shrink your brain, or it does shrink your brain. Memory retention lowers. It hurts your gut microbiome, and increase your chances of inflammation, gas, irritation, and it just has a lasting effect, a huge lasting effect. Again, there's more and more information coming out around alcohol and its negative effects. So really look at managing it and bringing it down as much as you possibly can. If you're going to have something with a meal. That might be a red wine. It's organic. That's going to be really beneficial for you in the long term. But bringing your alcohol consumption down as much as possible is going to be a big one. And the last pillar number 3, mindset. So huge pillar for me. If we're looking to make changes, mindset is key. So let's look at some of the important things that we can bring into play. So empowering mornings, a huge one I work with my clients. It's going to be huge for your mental health, your well-being, your energy, your focus, quality of life, basically. So mornings are powerful if done right. So waking up at the same time every morning is going to be hugely beneficial. This really supports your circadian rhythm. That kind of making sure that you're waking up and going to bed the same time, but your circadian rhythm is going to be supported with that. First one, get hydrated. No caffeine at this point, so it might be some water with some lemon in, bit of ginger. Would be really beneficial to get hydrated. Great for your gut as well first thing in the morning. A bit of meditation. If you struggle with meditation, it might be guided. It might be just concentrating on your breath, being still. So find the one that works best for you. And that might be 60 seconds. It might be 5 minutes. It might be 10 minutes, whatever you got manageable. Meditation is going to be a huge one. And then journaling on your gratitude and your outcomes for the day. That's going to be a massive one. So you're focused, you're aligned with your values and your beliefs with your journaling. Get natural light into your eyes as soon as possible. So that if that's getting outside, if you can, if it's still dark, then turning all the lights on. You're not going to get the same benefit. It's going to take longer than if you can get outside and get natural light into your eyes. Again, which is just a natural thing that us humans need in the mornings. So get the lights on, get outside if you possibly can, get natural light into your eyes as soon as possible. Do these things, do meditation, get hydrated, journal, natural light. Your mornings and your energy will transform. Stress management through meditation, mindfulness, and a daily routine. So this is a little bit more on the meditation thing. So meditation can be challenging for most people. And there's good reason for this because we're just so overly stimulated from so many different bombardments of distractions, whether that is work, emails, family, social media, whole host of things, TV, many things. And just finding stillness can be difficult for a lot of people. But this, it's not a case of trying to stop thinking. Our brains are built to think. So when we're trying to meditate, it's about concentrating on one thing, whether that is your breath. And when that kind of thought comes into your brain, pulls you away from your breath, just realizing that it's happened, appreciate it, come back to the breath. That's meditation. So it's not, meditation isn't trying to empty your brain. You can't do that. But what it is about finding stillness and calmness within that one thing. Another thing that someone showed me was grabbing a pen, and you could do this at your desk. Feeling overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, is focusing on the pen and then taking your focus beyond the pen, something behind it, and then bringing your focus back to the pen. And do that 3 or 4 times is practically, for me, a form of meditation and can really help with anxiety and stress. But meditation as a whole is massive. And if we can do that particularly first thing in the morning in our morning routine, as I said earlier. It's going to help with you going into the day, lowering stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and also help improve your sleep quality as well. Daily gratitude is massive, really supportive. In your journal in the morning, just writing down everything that you have in your life. I think we're so easy to look at the things that we need or think we need and we want to get and the progressions that we want to make, and we forget about the things that we have in our life. So be grateful of those things, be aware of them daily, write them down in a journal. Writing them down is going to really get them really clear in your eyes as well, in your brain. That's a great one. Social interaction for brain and well-being. So being social is part of who we are as human beings, and we need to do it. But again, I think it's one of those things that we put off, is one of those things that we start to do less of when we are overwhelmed. We've got a lot going on. But penciling in and making sure that you're arranging every week to meet with friends or family and do things. If it's outdoors, go shopping. If it's just meeting up with people for something to eat, doing that, social interaction is going to be a massive one for you. So make sure you're doing that on a day-to-day basis. We need to do it. We're better for it. If you're doing it and you're going out for something to eat well, make good choices. Control the alcohol consumption. If it's red wine, even better. Yeah, social interaction is a big one. Daily light, daily light early mornings, as I've said already. A lot of research into this. Getting that first light into your eyes is going to be awesome. It's going to be releasing serotonin into your brain, which is basically a feel-good hormone. That supports the hypothalamus, can't say it, in regulating positive and supportive feelings and actions in your day. So getting that natural light into your eyes first thing, massive. If it isn't light outside, which a lot of us can face in the mornings, then turn the lights on. It's going to be a bit of a slow process, but make sure you're getting light into your eyes first thing. And that is it. That is 30 key points. 30-point guide to increasing your brain and gut health. Hope it's been helpful. Hope it hasn't just been me spouting off into the microphone and being a bit of a mess. Hope it's been helpful. If you want this in a written form, I've got a document. So if you want it, drop us a message with this video, wherever you're watching it or listening to it. With the word, guide, and I'll be able to get that over to you. And yeah, I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's something that's going to help you go into the new year in a positive way and supportive way. As I said, don't look at trying to implement all of them, even if it's 2 or 3 from each of the pillars. I know for a fact that it's going to have a transformation effect on your health, your well-being, and amazingly, the people around you, your friends and your family. All right, it's big. So, okay, thanks for that, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, appreciate, and please like and subscribe to the channel. It really, really does help, and we help more and more people as we move through the year. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.